What's going on, button pushers? So as a RED Komodo user, I decided that I needed to make a video for you guys to kind of tell you guys and keep you guys updated on what I think about the RED Komodo. So 4 months in, I honestly believe that the Komodo is one of the best things that I've come across. So I really wanted to go a little bit more into detail in this quick video for you guys, kind of a quick update on what I think about the camera, what I still love about it, and what I still think it needs a little bit of work on. So let's get started. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. My name is David, and today we're going to be talking about the RED Komodo. I've been using this thing for about 4 or 5 months now, and it is honestly one of the best things that I've ever come across my arsenal. We're going to start off with the form factor. The form factor is one of the things that make this camera one of the best cinema cameras on the market right now. It is literally the tiniest box ever, and I can just take it off of this mount right here, and it will just fall right into my hands. You can see the perfect size of this and how it kind of just like, feels right in the hand. It's so tiny, so small, and it could be literally just brought down to just a lens and a battery, and that is still usable. Like, it doesn't even have to be heavy, it doesn't have to be rigged all the way out, but it can be, and that is just the beauty of it. It's bringing ease into the cinema world, and that's what I really love about this camera. As far as coloring goes, and which is super important for a lot of people, and a lot of people are gonna say color isn't even a thing. You can match color on any camera. You can use a A7 III, or you can use a 1DX2 and match color with a RED camera. But here's the thing: time is money, and when it comes down to it, the camera gives amazing color straight out of the camera itself, meaning I save so much time color grading. Like, I can literally just throw in a basic Rec 709 LUT on here, go back, do a few tweaks, and I'm good to go. Like, it is such an amazing camera when it comes down to the workflow, the color grading, and just everything about it is just so amazing. But color grading on this is so easy, and it saves so much time because the color in this camera is just already amazing, just straight up. Now let's jump into the resolution. Now, first of all, I gotta say that all of the B-roll on this video is from the RED Komodo itself. Of course, not the footage of the camera itself, that is shot on the R5, but everything else is shot on the Komodo, so you can already kind of see the beauty of the quality of the Komodo. And I honestly use this camera for all of my YouTube videos when it comes down to the products and the quick little B-roll clips and snippets of like the products sitting and spinning and whatnot. That is also something to think about. The camera has amazing resolutions from 6K, 4K, a little bit of 5K, but nobody really uses that. 2K for that 120 frames per second. We're gonna get in frame rates a little bit later, but the quality out of this is amazing, and there's something about that super 35mm crop that just makes it that much more amazing. Give this nice isolation effect, and I really love the image of a super 35mm sensor. It's just so good. Now, like I said, we're gonna get into the frame rates. So of course, this is something that the Komodo can actually work on a little bit. We aren't getting the frame rates that a lot of people would want in a cinema camera. However, for the price tag of $6,000, we're getting a really good, amazing deal in this camera itself. So at 6K, we're getting 48 frames per second max, 40 frames per second if you're gonna shoot in 17:9, which is not widescreen, which is the standard. But if you wanna shoot in widescreen, we do get 48 frames per second in 6K. At 4K, we're getting 60 frames per second, and at 2K, we are getting 120 frames per second. So of course, not as many frame rates as a lot of people would want in a camera like this, but if you want something like that and can afford it, you might want to go for the Gemini or the Ari or the Weapon or something like that, something a lot more expensive, which comes out to 20, 30, 50K. In this, for the black production model, it is only 6K, which is really good as far as price goes for what you're actually getting out of the camera. And honestly, I really like the 40 frames per second. It's like this real-time slow motion. Of course, it's not real-time, but it's kind of like when something bad happens, like you see someone slip on the street or something on a puddle and then fall into the water. It's like, bro, I just watched that in slow motion. It's like a really nice slow motion, honestly. It's not like buttery smooth like 120, but it's really good. Anyways, let's jump into the ease of use. The Komodo is one of the easiest cameras I have ever used. Like, literally point and shoot. All it needs is a lens, a battery, and you have the monitor on top to record, to change everything, to manage everything. It's super simple. It even has autofocus if you really want to use it. Of course, with every firmware update, the autofocus is getting a little bit better. But right now it's not matched up to like Canon autofocus when I can just like do this and stay in focus. But all in all, it is so simple to use. As far as the workflow goes, just as simple. Coloring it and working with it, it plays back flawlessly. I've only had one issue with it, and it wasn't really the issue with the footage itself, it was with my hard drives. My hard drives weren't reading and writing fast enough for the data to be transferred to my Premiere, so I was getting a little bit of lag. So I decided I'd edit off of an SSD and transfer and archive all my files onto that hard drive instead. If you run into an issue like that, that might be why. And if there's a way you want to check, you can go into your task manager and check to see what processes are running and going over 100% to kind of see where it's lagging a bit. So in my first video, when I talked about lens options the first time, I did mention that we are going to get RF support, but at that time when I made the first video after I got the Komodo, we did not have RF support. Well, now we do. We are getting RF support. Of course, it's still in its beta stages and people are, working out the kinks and stuff. It's not like complete full support just yet, but it is working, and that is something to be super excited about because that means we are getting more lens options, RF, EF, PL, and everything else that has a mount that can mount to RF. All of those lenses are now adaptable on the Komodo, which is super amazing to hear because it opens opportunities like no other. Now let's get into the file sizes and the compression rates. Now we're gonna get HQ, which is high quality, MQ, which is medium quality, and LQ, which is low quality, as well as ProRes options. But why even get this camera if you're gonna shoot in ProRes, Unless you're, looking for something to deliver really, really fast. Other than that, why would you shoot in not RAW? The difference between HQ and LQ is not that noticeable when it comes down to the file sizes. HQ is going to give you like 30 minutes on a 512 gigabyte card, while LQ is going to give you an hour and 30 minutes, which is amazing and different and very, very, very different when it comes down to knowing what you're going to be shooting. So most of the time when I use HQ, it's probably for like YouTube or quick videos or short things where I know it's going to take like 5-10 minutes to shoot, less than 30 minutes of course. When it comes down to me not knowing what I'm going to be doing at all, I definitely use LQ. That means I can conserve memory space when I don't know what's going to happen and all that. So LQ is a blessing, and file sizes are really, really good when it comes down to Komodo. Of course, like any other cinema camera, if you're shooting in RAW, it's going to take a hefty file size compared to something like a regular 4K all-eye or something. It's definitely worth it. Some other things to note: if you're looking to buy this camera, good luck. It's gonna take forever to get this camera because everyone's trying to get their hands on it, and I'm hearing that people are having to wait until April to be able to get theirs shipped in because there's just so many orders of this camera because it is so amazing. Also, accessories, some of them are super hard to find. They're getting a lot more easily accessible, but at the same time, it's very hard to find some accessories for this. So if you're looking to get this camera and get accessories for this camera, you're gonna have to wait a while, quite a bit. It is definitely worth the wait. Also, something that I really wish was more added onto this camera was modularity based on the body itself. Now, of course, yes, the body is tiny and it has the LCD monitor, so it is a bit hard to mount things, but sometimes I'll struggle to find where I can mount a tear deck on the body or something. So of course there's cages, but not all the cages are very easily compatible. At the same time, some screws don't fit in specific places, so it makes it very hard. Like, I can't mount a specific rosette handle here because the screws aren't the right distance apart or are too far apart. It just makes it really hard sometimes, but at the same time, there's always a compromise and it'll always work out. And that's what I love about this camera. So at the end of the day, 4 months in, would I still recommend the RED Komodo? Definitely. If you are interested in getting a cheap but super powerful, high potential camera for a good budget of $6,000, and you're willing to wait, quite a while, this is definitely worth it because, man, it is capable of being an A cam. Now, a lot of people might disagree with that because, oh no, it doesn't have as many frame rates, or there's not as modular as the other ones, but it has the potential to be an A cam for so many people. Of course, it may be better off as a B cam, but it does have the potential to be an A cam. Depending on who you are as a person, depending on what you are shooting, it has a lot of potential. And it actually has me so excited to see what RED has for the DSMC3 line, because with this technology, what they're putting in the Komodo, they're definitely going to implement some of that into the DSMC3s, and I cannot wait to see. And so many people are going to be excited and grabbing the DSMC3s. They're going gonna like sell out so quick. I just can't wait to see it. Anyways guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment below, let me know, are you interested in the Komodo? What are you looking at? Maybe the C70 is better for you, because I've hearing a lot of people, you know, choosing between the C70, the RED Komodo, or even people who just don't even want to steer at all near the two and get a Black Magic. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Keep pushing buttons, guys. Happy New Year's, by the way. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.